I'm just giving people time to get on in, get on in. So, how you doing, Gabby? Gabby? Good to see you, Mama. All right, I'm trying to start on time, so I'm only giving 2 more minutes. Two. So if you need to go get something to drink, go get you a snack. Go ahead. I'm be here. I ain't gonna get started for another 2 minutes. I'm giving people time to come on in. Good. I'm so glad you're doing good today, Mama. Thank you so much for joining. I know you could be doing 50 million other things like your homework. So thank you for joining. Hey, Gina. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So while I'm letting people come on in, I'm just giving people time to join on in, be a part of the get on up movement, and then we gonna get started. So y'all be patient with me. Um, right. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for coming in. I am not going to be before you long. I said I was giving people 2 minutes, so we got 1 more minute. And then we going to go ahead and get this party started, right? Y'all ready? Y'all excited? We are on our way. Well, on our way to go ahead and getting our night started with some positivity. Thank y'all so much for joining. I'm gonna try and speak as I see, or as y'all leave comments, or just wave in, let me know that you're here. And it is about that time. So thank you so much for joining me on this Monday. Welcome back, my R2Cs, which is my Real Resilient Conversation crew. Welcome back, welcome back. I missed y'all. It's been 2 whole weeks. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I know. So, welcome back. It is Monday, and y'all not excited like me. I'm excited. Okay. It's Monday. Welcome to your mid-month May fill up. I am so glad you came back to join me. If you are alone, snuggled up, it's your first time, you're watching it on a rebroadcast, thank you so much for taking the time out to join in on today's show. And if you haven't met me, I'm your host. I'm your girl, Quita Quee. I come every second and fourth Monday. I was going to say Friday. Second and fourth Monday to drop some little nuggets on how to bounce back, how to have that buoyancy in your everyday life. This comes from years of experience of having to bounce back, and also just from how God gives me, imparts in me different topics using quirky ways of showcasing different perspectives on how to bounce back. I had to get my thoughts together. Y'all seen that, huh? All right. So, once again, if it is your first time, please like, share, and subscribe. If this is the type of teaching that you enjoy, if you have not heard me, then listen on in. Hopefully, this is what you're looking for. If it's not for you, please share with someone else, and it may be for them. So, for my bi-weekly returnees who are here for your bi-weekly fill up, tell me, what do you think that today's topic, which is, anybody know? Anybody remember? Anybody seen the ad and can tell me what it was? No, maybe, kind of, sort of. Maybe not. So with today's topic of maybe not, what does that have to do with resiliency? And of course, I am asking because I would like to know your perspective before I give you mine. No, maybe. Maybe. I see how you did that, Reba. So, for those of you who are thinking about it, I'm also going to throw it out there. Whenever you hear maybe not, what do you think? What does that mean to you when you hear it? Does that mean possibly? Does that mean perhaps? Perhaps not? Is it the same thing? Can it be used interchangeably? Does it have to go one way or the other? Or when you're thinking about the words maybe, maybe not, that causes some distress, some anxiety, some heart palpitations, some disappointment, some frustrations, whatever those emotions that you are going through. When we're talking about hearing the words maybe, maybe not, how does that match up with your resiliency, your bounce back factor in your day to day occurrence? What does that mean? And because usually, at least for me, it's because the maybe, maybe not puts me in a gray space. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here too. But putting you in that gray space can put you at a place where you are like, I need a definitive yes or no. The maybe, if you go back to when you were little and you asking your parents, you asked your parents or your guardian for McDonald's. What was the first thing they said? Maybe. We'll see. And then you were like, man, or if you didn't behave, they said, well, maybe not. Maybe not. Are you cutting up back there? Same thing in today's words, right? Whenever we are hearing the maybe, maybe not, uh, is it attributed to a trigger? Is it a triggering thing for you? Depending on the culture that you grew up in, or depending on the upbringing that you had, maybe came off as something that was a negative connotation, right? Depending on, I like how you did that too there. For those of you who cannot see on the Instagram side, they were talking about, do you have McDonald's money? Which was usually the next question after the maybe, maybe not, depending on how you act. And then the next question was, do you have McDonald's money? And so what I really want you to think about is there a cycle that is attributed to the maybe, maybe not, right? So usually it's like this. You get a trigger, you get anxious behind it. Then you try and utilize some of your tools that you've learned to deal with the anxiety. And then what happens? You're re-triggered again. So you never have the opportunity to really have a definitive answer because you're still thinking about the maybe, maybe not. Does that make sense? And so when I'm thinking about, is this just a cop out, or is it easier for me personally, Quita, can't speak for y'all, but for Quita to say maybe, maybe not? Or is it really a honest answer? And we're going to get into it here in a little bit. But for me, because I'm not always able to answer on a definitive nature, depending on my health, depending on my time, depending on my other obligations. So the maybe, maybe not is not always a cop out. Sometimes it is really that. Maybe if my time allows, maybe if finances allow, maybe if health prevails, right? Then the maybe is a real life circumstance. The maybe not comes, and it's a real thing when we're looking at maybe not because now my money don't allow it, time don't allow it, whatever. The maybe can also sound like it can teeter totter with the maybe not. And whenever we're talking about the indecisiveness, was considered at that time of saying the maybe or the maybe not, how does that attribute to your decision making skills? Were we taught to say maybe in order to get out of making a decision at that very moment? For me, yes. Because there was not always a time where I could always answer at that moment. And I needed time to think it through. I needed time to look at the pros and the cons, to look at is it beneficial or non-beneficial? Is this just to pacify someone else, or is this really because of what Quita wants to do? And so for your own livelihoods, I don't know if that is the same thing that you do or that you go through and that you think of and that you consider when you're saying the maybe or the maybe not. And maybe when I would say it would be, well, do you want to be in a relationship with me? And I'm like, maybe, maybe not. Can I have some time to think about it? And usually somebody wants an answer at that moment. What about going into business? What about friendships with people that you don't really know like that, but they anxiously trying to be a part of your world and a part of your space? That's a maybe or maybe not. I need to let you know where I live. Maybe, maybe not. I don't really know you like that. The way that the world is nowadays, it's a lot safer in your own safe space. Because the people that are supposed to get it, the people that are supposed to know you, maybe, you see, I did that. Maybe those are the people that need to be a part of your world. The people that no longer serve you, or that who don't understand the path that you're on, maybe their time has come to an end, and maybe them still be having access to you, maybe not so much, and that's okay. That's okay to say that at this time, maybe not. Maybe now is not a good time, or maybe yeah. I don't mind you coming over. Yeah, yeah. Give me a second. Let me check on some things, and I'll get back to you. The maybe was still there. The answer was not definitive. Maybe, maybe not is not always a bad thing, y'all. There are times in which it is, though. And because you in particular are not a maybe. Does that make sense? Who you are, what you've gone through, your experiences, your circumstances is not a maybe. That's definitely a yes. Yes, Quita is here. Quita lives in Texas. Yes, Quita is single without any children. Yes, that's a definitive. The people that are supposed to be a part of my life, the people that are going to be able to make it happen in order to be a part of Quita's world, are the people that deserve to be a part of that world. The people who do not see it as a priority, who do not feel that it is a part of their world at this time, then maybe not. If they catch me on the other side, wonderful. If they don't, then wonderful. There's nothing wrong with either way. However, understanding the maybe and the maybe nots in your world, and however that may coincide with your day-to-day living, is something that you have to decide. Does that make sense? Anybody? Somebody? So, because when you're talking about businesses, when you're talking about friendships, when you're talking about having children, there's the maybe and the maybe nots. And the reason why I bring that up is because I was speaking with someone, and they asked me, do you regret anyone that you dated in the past and that you didn't move forward with them in the future? And I thought about it, and I said, well, I was engaged to somebody who I thought was a phenomenal man. However, they did not have the things that I needed to be a phenomenal man for me. So it was like maybe what I thought was going to be a great thing. And I was like, well, maybe not. Right. And sometimes you need that extra information in order for you to make a lifelong decision. So, for example, what I thought was going to be, maybe this is going to be a good fit for me, was maybe it's not. If they don't know about credit scores, they don't know about taking out the trash without me having to ask. Maybe they don't, if they don't understand how to have more than one pair of sheets and another comforter. It was just little things that I was thinking, maybe this is not going to be the best fit for me. If they don't think after a certain amount of time, you need to get your carpet shampooed because there's bacteria that's harvesting and growing and who knows what else. However, that's for Quita. So it's may not be the best situation for Quita. However, there's going to be times where you're like, well, maybe I did miss the ball. But I did think that at that time, at that point in my life, it was not the best fit. At this point in my life, it could possibly be. I had someone that wanted to marry me, and they had 2 kids, and I was like, yo, I'm not trying to be at home just taking care of kids. Like, I want to still travel. I want to do some things. And now at 40, I'm like, I would love to have someone that has a child or two that want to do family things together. However, at that point, the maybe not was more fitting as to now. So if I was to go back and really think about a particular relationship or two, people that wanted to be with me or couldn't be with me because they were not at a safe space within themselves, being on a business level, on a emotional level, on a physical level, on a friendship level, then you have to be understanding of their maybes and why. And that takes what? Conversations. So this is where real resilient conversation matches with the resilient aspect, or the conversations meet up with the real in the resilient aspect, the buoyancy part, right? There's going to be ups and downs in life. What we do with those ups and downs and how we are to answer and respond to them make up a big part of what our next step would be. And the reason I say that is because if you all don't know, I am in transition as far as careers go. When you're looking at understanding your past life, where you're supposed to be going, bouncing back from hurts, harm, dangers, uh, depression, anxiety, self-harming, whatever that might be, however you bounce back from it, looking at what you do today, how it may or may not affect tomorrow. But live in the present, live in today, live in the realm of safety and security and peace within yourself. So if for you to maintain your peace, that requires you to say maybe. That requires you to say maybe now is not the time. Then you have to do that for your own sanity and your own safety and security. I had someone who asked me, they said, "Hey, Quita, I know you got that house. I was just wondering if I was able to host an event at your house." And I said, "Oh, honey, Quita's paranoia does not work that way. We do not have lots of people at Quita's house. I'm so sorry." My paranoia will go into overdrive and I will kick everyone out, especially when it's people that I don't know. People that I am comfortable with, I say, maybe it's safe for me to allow them into my safe space because now I feel comfortable. If they do something before that invitation is fulfilled, that is an automatic turn. Like, okay, we're done here. No thanks. Things came up. Sorry. I am real quick to do that. Y'all judge me if you want to. It's okay. And because understanding that in the past, that living in the past creates a bottleneck for being able to appreciate your current, to being able to appreciate the gift of the present. There's someone else who did not make it to enjoy the present today, right? And then there's someone else who is hoping and just leaning on, well, tomorrow I'll be able to, tomorrow. And I get fussed at a lot, y'all, because of my fibromyalgia and how it affects my body. And there's a lot of times where I have to say maybe. There's a lot of times where I want to say yes, and then I have to say, well, maybe, give me time. I have to say, for example, today I was hurting. I've been hurting for like the past 2 days. And even on Saturday, I was still kind of having to push myself. And it's been a thing where I am constantly trying to prepare because I'm like, tomorrow's not promised. So I have to get this done in order to prepare me for tomorrow. Well, what happens if tomorrow doesn't come? Have I lived my life to the fullest? And you know, I watch a lot of murder mysteries, and the first thing caught out my head is if something was to happen to me, they're gonna come in my house will be a mess. They're gonna be like, well, we don't know if somebody broke in and ransacked the house or this is just how she keep her house. I do not want that to be what they say. Or would they say, okay, maybe it was just a rough day, or she was rearranging or reorganizing, whatever that might be. However, I never want someone to call me anything less than a lady, or that I am anything less than becoming of a professional. And so I try to do my best to look the part, to speak the part, to say the part, to live the part. And if I go back and I look at living in the past of what I should have did, what I could have did, it does cause a bottleneck in my day-to-day, because then I'm like, oh, I didn't do this yesterday. I need to add that onto my already full day. Then I am discouraged when the next day I have double the amount of things, and then I still need to add more things onto it. Being able to say, maybe this can wait. And then looking at what you prioritize and say, but maybe this cannot. Maybe I need to move this up closer to the things that take a priority. Look at your life and look at the things that are that create a bottleneck of unhealed, unresolved pain and frustration and aggravation and triggers. And it limits your present and inconceivably causes your outlook on your future to become a little grim. And the reason I also said that is because when I am getting ready to turn 40, and I'm like, am I really still going to try and have kids after 40? Is someone really going to want to marry me after 40? And what is that life going to look like when you have been doing things on your own at your own pace, the way that you like them, folding towels the way you want, cleaning the bathroom, washing dishes, putting dishes in the dishwasher the way you want it. Now you got to say, maybe it's something I can deal with. Maybe these are things that I can move around with, that I can still do and say and live through. And with relationships, whether that, like I said, be business, personal, friendship, church, family, whatever that might be, we need to be able to protect our peace. And if the words maybe or maybe not is what you utilize to protect your peace at times, then so be it. So be it. Because there's so much going on in the world, especially when it comes to mental health and when it comes to our day-to-day living. Anxiety, depression, and unaliving is so rampant in today's society that you want to make sure that you do what you can to protect yourself by all means necessary. And I want your outlook on your future to still have a sunshine, rainbow, flowers blooming. It's May, so we still talking about blooming. May flowers. We talking about things that can still bring and blossom into something great. And so understand that the word is not always a bad thing, right? It's really an opportunity for you to take a breather, really think things out, really look at what is going to be the best fit for you, your household, your family, your finances, your mental, your emotional, whatever that might be. Make a decision on how many times that you've had to say it and that you've had to do it and that you automatically was like, I should have just really made a decision. Should you, or should you really have just given yourself that time and that energy to say, I just need a little bit more, give me a little bit more time. I just need to think through it. And as we all know, and I know most of you have heard it, if not all, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So maybe this is not your life. Maybe you have not heard it. But you want to make sure that you take what you need to in order to ensure that you can build up your character and your faith. So the things that we're going through right now, if you have to say maybe or maybe not, if that's what it takes in order for you to give time for your self-care, your character and your faith to be built up at this point in your life, then so be it. I am only at a place to where I am surrounding myself with people who are building me and not pulling from me. If they are pulling from me, I am pulling away. I won't wait on them to pull themselves away. I will pull myself away. And that is because I feel like my life and my situations, the things I have endured, the things I have survived through, the things that I have known for myself to, at some other point in life, probably would have been at a downtrodden point in my life that I can look at and say, it's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. Finance is a little grim. It's bad, but it's not that bad. Things could be worse. And so I urge you, I challenge you that, because this is something I'm still learning to this day, that we do it together. That we lean on each other, that we say, hey, Quita, what's going on? If I know that something's going on with you and I'm like, hey, you look a little off. What's going on, friend? You know, what's going on, fam? What's going on, friend? What's going on, coworker? What's going on, business partners? What's going on? Let's talk about it. I care more about you as a person, you as an individual, you as a mother, you as a wife, you as a father, you as a brother, you as a cousin. I care about you as an individual more than I care about my pride. So if I have to say maybe, rather than me just saying no, and then later on come back like, I made a decision, the damage is already done, right? You drop a plate on the ground, you can glue it back together, but the damage is still done. You still see the cracks in there. You still see the fractures. You still see the areas that is not as strong as if it was still solid. When I when I went back and I was thinking, man, what if, or maybe if I had stayed with this person, if I had taken this business venture, if I was able to live in this place, get to this base, would I have somebody that loved me, that wanted to take care of me, that was able to provide for me? Or if I had kept a child that I didn't lose to miscarriage or otherwise, um, would I still have a child that was dependent on me, that would probably be tugging at my leg right now or screaming, mommy, or I need, or can I, or right here on camera with me? What would that have looked like for me? And although it tugged at my heartstrings and it really made me reconsider if my decision making skills were always the best, and I know that they were not. I didn't really feel like I started to grow into my decision making skills until I was probably about 33, 34 ish. And then it finally started kicking. I'm like, oh, yeah, Quita, that's not the best decisions that you made. Allowing this person into your world or into your life, or making this decision was not the best. And so we can't live in the past, because living in the past does what? It's like a whole explosion. It's a whole dynamite of emotions. And now you start to question every decision that you've made. You start to wonder if everything that you've made up until this point, the decisions, the thoughts, the pathways that you've gone down, were they necessarily the best? The people that you were like, oh, they are great. And then all of a sudden you realize that now you're like, goodness, am I really that bad of a judge of character? Or were they that good of an actor or actress? Don't be so hard on yourself to where you miss out because you're so focused on your past. I urge you, I urge you, I urge you, I challenge you. Really look at your future and what you want that to look like. Really look at if the words maybe is not a bad thing. When you're telling your child maybe, we shall see. It is very conditional on how you behave, how well you listen, what your grades look like. What do you tell your spouse, your significant other? Well, I want to go to this play. All right, well, maybe we'll see we can go. What you mean, maybe? Maybe. We got to see. I got stuff I'm still obligated to take care of. Okay. Live in your present today, your current, and let tomorrow be a surprise party on a daily basis. I am guilty of trying to make tomorrow become a certain way. I don't know what that's going to look like. I can prepare all I want to, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I ask you to go ahead and make sure that you enjoy the surprise parties of tomorrow. Enjoy the present gift of today. Let the past be a reminder of where you came from, but don't live there. Don't live there. All right, so that's my time. I stayed on target. I stayed on time. Y'all should be proud of me. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Jump on in anytime. Share this with someone that you know that may enjoy or the way ahead, and how generations and generations to come can benefit from this type of teaching. If this blessed you, please put it down there in the chat so I know I'm still doing a good job. Thank you for my family and my friends that jump on here every 2 weeks to encourage me and remind me that the message that God has given me to give out to you all is still something that is fulfilling and that does it well in presentation. So I do want to ask that you like, share, and subscribe if you have been blessed by tonight's message, so that someone else may be able to benefit from tonight's message and they can be able to hear and join in on the ways that we can continue to bounce back from this thing called life. And join us again now in 2 weeks on the next, so that's 2 weeks from now is the 22nd of May. 22nd of May, we're going to have a little longer session. So between 45 minutes to an hour. I know, y'all. I know, because I can't get y'all attention. Y'all like ADHD. ADD, ADHD when it comes to asking for 30 minutes. But I am going to have a special guest by the name of Austin. He does own a landscaping company by the name of Green Horizons. And so this gives this gentleman the opportunity because our topic for the next episode is going to be called May Miracles. And so I really want you all to join in and talk about your miracles too, the things that you are learning and growing through, and how your life, you've seen miracles come about in your life. And if you are willing to share, I am willing to see it. So y'all jump on in there. I can't wait to see. Come back in 2 weeks, same time, same place, with the same space, the same face, in the same space with another face, uh, by the name of Austin. And I cannot wait to see you all again. I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love, peace, joy, and happiness. I send back to you. And I pray that the time given will be time restored back to you again. All right, so I see y'all in 2 weeks. Thank you. See you soon.